Cancer is not one disease. It is not even 100 diseases. It is a process. A process that can begin in almost any cell in your body, at almost any time, for almost any reason. And the reason we have not cured it is not that scientists are not trying hard enough. It is that cancer is not a foreign invader. It is you, your own cells turned against you, and that makes it one of the hardest problems biology has ever faced. Every day your body produces about 30 trillion new cells. Each time a cell divides, it must copy 3 billion letters of DNA. That is like copying 1,000 thick novels by hand every day without making a single typo. But typos happen. They are called mutations. Most are harmless. Some are repaired. But a mutationally lands in just the wrong place, in just the wrong gene, and the cell begins to change. A normal cell follows rules. It divides only when told. It stays in place. It dies when damaged. It respects boundaries. Cancer begins when a cell accumulates enough mutations to break these rules. It ignores the stop signals. It divides uncontrollably. It refuses to die. It invades nearby tissues. It hijacks the blood supply. It learns to hide from the immune system. It is a single cell that has evolved into a parasite inside its own host. The first reason cancer is so hard to defeat is that it is not a fixed target. A bacterial infection is a specific organism. Cancer is a population. And like any population, it has variation. Some cells are slightly different from others. This is called tumor heterogeneity. A treatment that kills 99% of cancer cells may leave behind a tiny fraction that were resistant from the start. Those resistant cells survive and multiply. And now you have a tumor that is immune to the treatment you just used. This is exactly what happens with chemotherapy. The first round works dramatically. The tumor shrinks. And then months later the cancer returns, and this time the chemotherapy does not work. Another weapon in cancer's arsenal is its ability to hide from the immune system. Your immune system constantly patrols for cells that do not belong. It can recognize cancer cells by abnormal proteins on their surface. This is why immunosuppressed people have higher cancer rates. Their immune surveillance is weakened. But cancer cells learn. They evolve ways to evade the immune system. Some stop displaying the abnormal proteins. They become invisible. Others display proteins that actively tell immune cells to stand down. They are not hiding. They are sending a false flag that says, I am one of you. Nothing to see here. These are called immune checkpoints. The cancer cell hijacks a natural break in the immune system and uses it to protect itself. A third reason cancer is so formidable is its metabolism. Normal cells generate energy efficiently using oxygen in mitochondria. Cancer cells switch to a primitive, inefficient form of energy production called glycolysis. They burn glucose like a furnace, consuming far more sugar than normal cells. This is the Warburg effect, discovered nearly a century ago. Why would cancer cells use an inefficient process? Because glycolysis produces building blocks for new DNA, proteins, and cell membranes. Cancer is not just powering itself. It is building copies of itself as fast as possible. It also creates an acidic environment around the tumor, which helps it invade surrounding tissue and suppresses immune cells that try to attack it. This metabolic difference should be a vulnerability. But you cannot starve cancer without starving the patient. Then there is metastasis. This is what makes cancer truly deadly. A primary tumor is almost never what kills. It is the metastases, colonies of cancer that break off, travel through blood or lymph, and establish new tumors in distant organs. You can cut out the primary tumor, but if even a single cell has already escaped and lodged itself into the organ, the cancer will return. The process of metastasis is brutally difficult for a cancer cell. It must detach, invade a vessel, survive in circulation, exit, and colonize foreign tissue. Only a tiny fraction survive this journey. But cancer produces billions of cells. Even if only 1 in a million succeeds, that is enough to seed a new tumor. Each metastatic colony evolves independently. By the time a patient is diagnosed with metastatic cancer, they may have dozens of genetically distinct tumors throughout their body. A drug that works on one metastasis may be useless against another. You are fighting an evolving population of diseases. Cancer cells also recruit the body's own systems to help them. They trick nearby blood vessels into growing new branches toward the tumor, a process called angiogenesis. The tumor builds its own private blood supply. Without angiogenesis, a tumor cannot grow larger than about 1 millimeter. With it, it can grow without limit. Cancer cells also manipulate surrounding normal cells to create the tumor microenvironment, an active support system. This is why early detection matters so much. A cancer caught before metastasis, before resistant clones, before its ecosystem is built, is often curable with surgery alone. But many cancers cause no symptoms until they are advanced. So what can modern medicine actually do? The traditional weapons are surgery, radiation, and chemotherapy. These have saved millions of lives. But they are blunt instruments. Chemotherapy kills healthy dividing cells too, causing hair loss, nausea, and immune suppression. The newer weapons are more precise. Targeted therapies block specific mutations that drive cancer growth. The poster child is imatinib, which targets a specific abnormal protein in chronic myeloid leukemia. Before imatinib, CML was a death sentence. Now, most patients live normal lives on a daily pill. But most cancers do not have a single clear target. They have dozens or hundreds of mutations, varying from patient to patient and cell to cell. This is why targeted therapies have not cured most cancers. They buy time, sometimes years. But cancer often evolves resistance. The most exciting frontier in cancer treatment is immunotherapy. Instead of attacking the cancer directly, immunotherapy teaches the immune system to attack it. The immune system is the most sophisticated targeting system in biology. It can distinguish between trillions of patterns. It adapts to changing threats. It has memory. And it can evolve alongside the cancer. The breakthrough came with immune checkpoint inhibitors. Drugs like pembrolizumab and nivolumab block those signals. They take the brakes off the immune system. Patients with metastatic melanoma, once a death sentence with median survival under a year, are now living for years, some apparently cured. The same approach has worked in lung cancer, kidney cancer, bladder cancer, and more. But immunotherapy does not work for everyone. Some cancers present no recognizable targets. Some tumors create a microenvironment so hostile that immune cells cannot penetrate it, and immunotherapy can cause serious side effects when the unleashed immune system attacks healthy tissues. It is a powerful tool, but not a universal cure. The newest frontier is personalized cancer vaccines. Scientists sequence the DNA of an individual patient's tumor, identify the unique mutations, and design a vaccine that teaches the immune system to recognize those mutations. This is a custom-built drug for a single patient. Early trials have shown promise, but the logistics are daunting. Each vaccine must be manufactured individually, expensive, and time-consuming. CAR T-cell therapy is another remarkable approach. Doctors take a patient's own T-cells out of their blood. They genetically engineer them to recognize cancer cells. Then they multiply these engineered cells into billions and infuse them back. These are living drugs. They replicate inside the body and hunt cancer cells for months or years. In some blood cancers, CAR T-cells have produced complete remissions in patients who had exhausted every other option. The challenge is extending this success to solid tumors, which have more complex microenvironments and fewer clear targets. The fundamental problem remains: cancer evolves. It is Darwinian selection inside your body, accelerated to an almost unimaginable speed. Every treatment we apply is a selective pressure. The cells that survive are the ones that happen to be resistant. They multiply, and the cancer comes back smarter. This is why the future is combination therapy. Hitting the cancer with multiple treatments simultaneously, targeting different vulnerabilities, so even if a cell resists one drug, it cannot resist all. This is how we conquered HIV, which also evolves rapidly. It is how we will eventually manage cancer. There is also growing recognition that prevention is the most powerful weapon. A third to half of all cancers are preventable with current knowledge. Not smoking, maintaining a healthy weight, exercising, eating a diet rich in plants, avoiding excessive alcohol, getting vaccinated against HPV and hepatitis B, using sunscreen. These save more lives than any drug ever will. Screening matters too. Colonoscopies can remove precancerous polyps before they become cancer. Pap smears reduced cervical cancer deaths. Mammograms, CT scans for smokers, and blood tests detecting tumor DNA in circulation catch cancer early when it is most curable. The best way to defeat cancer is to find it before it has learned how to defeat you. Cancer is hard to defeat because it is not a thing. It is a process. It is life, unregulated. It is evolution, accelerated. It is your own biology, broken and repurposed. The same systems that heal your wounds, that grow you from a single cell, that fight off infections, are the systems that cancer hijacks. You cannot simply destroy cancer without also destroying yourself. The challenge is to find the difference, the tiny molecular distinction between a cancer cell and a normal cell, and to exploit it with enough precision and enough persistence that the cancer cannot evolve its way out. We are closer than we have ever been. The cancer death rate has fallen by about a third in the last 3 decades. New treatments are being approved faster than ever. For the first time in history, we have drugs that produce durable remissions in some metastatic cancers. We have learned more about cancer in the last 20 years than in the previous 2000. The war is not over, but we are beginning to understand the enemy. And in understanding it, we are beginning to outsmart it.